Welcome back, everybody, to White Sox Daily once again. I'm Aaron Feely with more White Sox news as the Chicago White Sox coming off a third straight bummer of a day, but more about that a little bit later on in the video. First off, we'll go ahead and we'll hit up some more pressing, immediate White Sox news and some roster moves here as they took a very interesting path after we kind of talked about yesterday what they would do in response to Tyler Schweitzer's call-up, some of the options that we thought about sending some guys down. There was kind of something of an assumption that would be a reliever heading down, and they didn't even really need to do anything. Murphy was the projected guy that we all thought we'd see taking a trip down to AAA or AA. Obviously, Austin Hayes being injured left a roster spot open anyway. But instead of either of those, they went ahead and optioned down Shane Smith, the opening day starter this year, after a pair of outings for the Chicago White Sox. Now, granted, yes, he was struggling fairly mightily, especially in that opening game there against Milwaukee, had a really tough outing. Then, of course, a couple of days ago, had a very bizarre stat line against the Baltimore Orioles as he threw just 3 innings, ultimately, didn't give up a great deal. 1 hit, as I recall, got 5 strikeouts, was really out there slinging some heat for the Chicago White Sox. The problem was he didn't last very long. He only pitched in 3 innings. And that was kind of where things then proceeded to fall off the rails for the Chicago White Sox as the bullpen came in, the whole thing away. It was just an abysmal outing. But at least in the short period that Smith was in there, he was pitching well. Not effectively, but well. He was not giving up, hits. He was not giving up runs. He was cranking his pitch total up to previously unseen totals, but otherwise pitching fine. And the White Sox are not in a position to throw away perfectly fine pitching right now. They need all the help they can get. If you know how to throw a curveball, you are needed by the Chicago White Sox. Report to Guaranteed Rate Field ASAP. Or hit the nearest bus to Kansas City. They're playing there later on today to begin that series. But yeah, just an interesting decision there and kind of a glaring, mirror held up to the young core for the Chicago White Sox and the hope that people had in this rebuild that Shane Smith got 2 starts this year and already optioned back down. Just kind of a stark outlook on the Chicago White Sox season to this point. Some help may potentially be on the way for them as they just claimed Doug Nikhazy from the Cleveland Guardians off of waivers. An interesting pickup, a guy that's been primarily a minor league pitcher to this point, has just a tiny little sliver of major league experience right now. But yeah, otherwise, not a great deal of major league time to this point. 26 years old. He was a second-round pick back in 2021. He was really solid for Ole Miss. Posts some really nice minor league numbers. A 3.96 ERA his rookie year across 24 starts. Has been slowly working on his control. He had 79 walks that first year. That number has slowly dwindled with each passing season since then. A guy that doesn't necessarily overwhelm you with phenomenal fastball speed. He tops out around 94, and it's rare that he hits 94. He's usually right around 90, 91 typically. But he's a guy that controls it very well. When he does decide to go to the fastball. His fastball is one that he's able to hit his precise spots. He knows when to pull it out, where to throw it, gets guys out. It's an effective pitch. He's got a lot of movement on his off-speed stuff, and I mean a lot of movement. The problem is that, kind of like Aaron Bummer a few years ago, who I, not on this channel of course, but kind of notoriously for those that knew me at the time, was not his biggest fan. But Aaron Bummer, someone who got a lot of movement, had phenomenal unhittable stuff at times, and just couldn't control it. Walked a lot of guys. Nikhazy, a guy who has been working on it. We just talked about that. He's been lowering the walk rate with each passing year, but it is still an issue that he'll have to continue to work on and continue to grow with as he continues. He's been primarily a starter through most of his career to this point down in the minor leagues for Cleveland, but coming into Chicago's AAA system, where they're already really loaded in that starting rotation, maybe we could see a move to, say, a long reliever position for Nikhazy. Certainly be something to look at if you're Chicago. He had a cup of coffee as a major league player for Cleveland. Not that there's really anything to make of it in any capacity. Yeah, I think he pitched like 4 innings for Cleveland. It didn't go spectacularly. They optioned him almost immediately, but I mean, it was 4 innings. It was his first 4 innings as a major league player. I wouldn't make too terribly much of it. To this point, he has started 89 of his 96 minor league appearances, so it's clearly where he feels most comfortable, but again, we'll just have to kind of wait and see how that decides to play itself out with that the AAA starting rotation being as stacked as it is to this point. Kind of speaking on that, however, on the Chicago pitching situation, we did have Tyler Schweitzer making his debut for Chicago yesterday. It went acceptably. Not much more you can say than that. He came in already, his team, trailing by a run, 4-3, top of the 9th inning. Ended up giving up 1 run in that contest. It was whatever. I mean, it was, fine, acceptable. Got himself his first career strikeout, so that was pretty cool. Only walked 1, did give up 2 hits across 1 and I think 1 inning plus an out. As he did come in at the very tail end of the 8th to kind of get Jordan Hicks out of a bind, and ended up getting the final out for Jordan there. And yeah, so 4 outs there from Schweitzer, just 2 hits given up. He did give up a run on a double in the 9th inning, so that was unfortunate. Walked 1, got a strikeout. Decent debut there from Schweitzer. Kind of showcased some of the quality control and pitching that we heard about him down in the minors. It was a decent first step towards potentially being someone that can help out this bullpen as the season goes along, which is something the White Sox are in desperate need of. Any form of help they can possibly get. Which brings us to our last point here of the evening, and that is the White Sox in desperate need of all the help they can get. One series after sweeping the Toronto Blue Jays, the Northern Bird teams get their revenge as Baltimore comes down. They sweep us right back. 3 straight losses, all of which the Chicago White Sox held a lead late into each of those games, and in all 3 games they choked the game away because the bullpen could not hold a lead. It was incredibly disappointing. In theory, they had an opportunity to go back-to-back sweeps here, but their bullpen could not hold anything. It is ridiculous. I know it's kind of just a running gag at this point. Every team across Major League Baseball has fans that criticize the bullpen. It's the easiest target, apart from maybe the home plate umpire, to throw darts at, to yell about, to scream at. The Chicago White Sox are the 2nd worst team ERA in all of baseball. I think it is perfectly fair and acceptable at this point for White Sox fans to complain any complaint. If you have any sort of pitching complaint at all, at this point it doesn't even have to be real, because the real problems are so bad, you are now justified if you just want to make some crap up and complain about whatever. I don't even care. Tell me that you don't like the fact that Jordan Hicks is going to lead aliens to Earth and start World War IV. I don't care. They're so bad that you just can't bother yourself with trying to defend anything regarding this Chicago White Sox pitching staff or this bullpen in particular. No leniency will be given at this time, which is why, obviously, now they've had a couple of call-ups. They've gone out into waivers. They're going to try everything they can at this point to put a Band-Aid on it rather than doing anything to actually take a swing at fixing this. They're just going to hope and pray that everyone currently down in the minor league system, that all those AAA guys that are playing really well at the start of this year are going to develop properly and start next year on the Major League roster. And great, that'll be fantastic for the 2027 White Sox, assuming that each of these guys lives up to their potential. Not going to help us much this year. This year you're going to get a whole lot of, kisses on the knee. Hope that makes it better. I hope we're all just getting ourselves mentally prepared for that. Let us know in the comments section below your thoughts on the Shane Smith demotion. Did you see that one coming? Did you think it should have been someone else, perhaps maybe one of the other relievers? Get that conversation started down below. Give us a like, share, and subscribe if you like the video, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow.